Welcome to Nintendo Ninja News. I'm your host, Chris Dices, and to kick off 2018, yes, we are finally reviewing The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Yes, the game that has won so many Game of the Year awards last year. For some reason, we didn't review it because we weren't really doing video game reviews until later on in the year when we decided to, or when I decided to take up the idea and do third-party devs and that. Then we moved on to first-party stuff by Nintendo and other companies. So it's been a long wait, but of course I've had plenty of time to think about it and plenty of time to look into it. But we thought we'll do an extended review and to show you off first. Here's some video clips that I took of Breath of the Wild during the months that I played it and all that sort of stuff. So check it out and see what you think. It's been a wild adventure in the world of Hyrule. And we're back. We're back from watching some of those video clips of Breath of the Wild Legend of Zelda. And as you can tell, it's a lot of fun playing this game. So many different things you can do, mechanics and things like that with your shield and sword and enemies, and just the environments are so spectacular to look at. So I guess now we've seen what it's like in video form. What is the game like in its entirety, including some of the download content that I got to get my hands on and play through some of it. So let's check out the review and see what I think about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was the first Nintendo Switch game that I obviously ever played. And when you start up, when Link is in his 100-year coma, you go out and see this open world, and it's just nothing that you've seen before. It's like a dream come true for Hyrule fans and Legend of Zelda fans. You can finally explore Hyrule the way that you always wanted to. You see that mountain up there? Yes, you can climb it. You can go anywhere in this world, and the size of it is just staggering compared to any other 3D or 2D game in existence, you know, compared to Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Skyward Sword, and now we've come to this. And obviously, all these big changes has been due to, you know, The Legend of Zelda has become a bit stagnated over the years with the same formula of, you know, 8 dungeons, fight the final boss, and you win sort of thing. Collecting things along the way, and certain dungeons have certain items that you can use. And they sort of threw it all away and decided to do something different, which I think was very, very successful. Now, let's go through my list, everyone. And I think the thing that I enjoy with a lot of open world games is that exploring, but it takes this to another level because it's not a game where it sort of pushes you. It is like the invisible hand. It's a bit like the gentle nudging towards different places in Hyrule where it can show you different things that you might enjoy or like. It's very hard to stay focused on the main quest because there's always something that distracts you or sort of takes you off and you go looking around and seeing things. And I think that's what's the beauty of the game is. The storyline is good. I enjoyed Link going around and seeing the divine beasts and things like that, and all the different heroes that you meet along the way, the 4 of them. And I think it was all right, the storyline and the ending as well. But it always feels like they need to take it another step or two with Zelda storylines. And I think in general with Nintendo, it's not a big area that they explore much in is storytelling. So, and hopefully they may improve over the years with that. Now, obviously, there's a lot of interesting things. The graphics and music's amazing. The music is not as apparent as it is in other open world games. But what it does good in is just being that background music and the little piano keys that go along when the Guardians go after you with the beams and go bzz, which is amazing. There's a lot of great things about this game that you think of over the past few months that I've played it, which is now quite a while ago now. Now, with Breath of the Wild, it also has a clothing system where it's based on certain points. Warm clothes for warm temperatures, ones for the hot, special ones for Guardians, even a Barbarian set for increased attack, and all sorts of different little clothes, and even download content. You can even get Xenoblade Chronicles 2's Rex outfit, which is pretty crazy, but that came free apparently as an update during Breath of the Wild's lifespan of 2017. And all the clothes are really cool. There's some throwbacks of Link between back to the original Legend of Zelda, of course, and Majora's Mask and different past Wind Waker as well. So there's also costumes that you can go and pick and choose and buy over time, which is fantastic. So I loved all that sort of stuff and taking photos with the snapshot, which was great for the Nintendo Switch when it first launched because lots of people took snapshots and, of course, videos as well. Now, obviously, there are complaints about the weapon durability issues and things like that, and I can understand that. That did really annoy me at the beginning of Breath of the Wild because I was really struggling in the game, trying to stay alive and dealing with creatures that were more powerful than me and stuff like that. But I think once you get a handle of it, and the 900 Korra seeds that you get, it helps to increase your the amount of weapons and armor and shields that you can take into battle, and bows as well. So that was really, really cool to know when I was playing the game. So you can solve that problem like that, but take a few weapons and take some non-metal weapons, because when it's thunderstorms, the lightning will be attracted to your weapon. So that's a bit of a thing to remember. The cooking and the foods is pretty simple. Put a bunch of food together, work out the recipes, and you do well. But there are some foods that are pretty easy to make that gives you a lot of heart. So you might not have to explore the cooking element so hard. But it is fun doing the cooking if you just want a quiet time and to unwind with the game. Now, another part of the game is the Master Sword. You can go off and get that. And there is a download content which does help double the power of the Master Sword to bring it to a power of 60 all the time instead of 30 and 60 for the, undead and stuff like that. So that is something that I suggest for people to do and to get the download content as well. Wow. I mean, that's the thing when you're looking at this review, is that there are so many little things that I really enjoyed. And it was probably the most fun that I've had in a video game for a few years, I would say. not since the beginning of the 3DS's time, where it was a fresh new console. It's really good, and I didn't get that vibe with the Wii U. New Super Mario Brothers U just wasn't a really great launch game at all compared to what we get with Breath of the Wild. Now, some of the other stuff, or some of the last things, the beasts and their dungeons, the 4 that we call dungeons or not, they're definitely not as strong as normal dungeons, and that's definitely a weak point of Breath of the Wild, is the lack of puzzle solving at times on a grand scale. And I think that's a little disappointing, but I'm going to let that slide. Personally, myself, I didn't see a huge loss. Now, there is over about 70, 80 shrines. There's so many shrines of these, which are basically, after you complete them, you can save your it becomes a warp point. You can move around Hyrule and that. And some of the shrines are really cleverly done, and some of them are pretty easy, depending on the difficulty of each of those shrines and where you find them and things like that, which is great. The other thing is Princess Zelda's memories, or your own memories. Obviously, that is the whole point, is trying to recollect your memories as well, and putting that together. And some of the memories are really cool in that. I haven't gotten all of them, but it was something that people like to explore the storyline and to get better at too. But, and the download content, oh god, the Legend of Zelda download content, it's pretty good for $30, and I was very, very satisfied for what you get out of it, I would say. Some people say they're a little bit annoyed with it. Now, part of that download content that we are just getting the numbers of. So the storyline itself is pretty simple. Going back to that, you beat these 4 divine beasts. That you go against Ganon in the castle, or you can do that straight away. You can go and see the final boss, which is amazing. So with the expansion packs and download content, it does add the Cave of Trials challenge, which is quite good. The hard mode is really cool, and the additional map features of where you've been the last 200 hours is fantastic. The new original story is actually quite cool, and the new dungeon and additional challenges, and of course you do get that motorbike at the end when you complete the pack 2 of the download content. All the monsters in the game can be seen as a bit boring. And there's always something weird happening. Either you see a little dragon in the air, or the Great Fairy Mountains, or interesting characters along the way, or mini bosses that come up here and there. And the side quests are interesting too. It really gets you to learn about the world within. And what is the final thing? Well, I just loved just exploring it and not having to do much in the game. Just explore the world, the deserts, the mountains, things like that. And that's where the beauty of the game is. It's really an exploring type game. Yes, you can complete the main story quest and stuff like that, but that's what makes Breath of the Wild so special, is that discovery of the world that you've known for so long is now possible to do in 2017. So let's head back to the Nintendo news desk before I lose my voice and see what could be my final score for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Wow, so we've come to the end of the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild review. It was probably the longest review I've done, because the videos, and there's so much to talk about. And the music, the open world, the exploring, the little things that it does, the hang gliding, moving around the world, that's just feels so good and natural in this game, the hang gliding, which is something I didn't talk about in the actual review, but another great moment of it. And of course, my score would have to be 10 out of 10. It's one of the best games I've played for many years, and really got me back into open world games, oddly enough, coming from The Legend of Zelda, which originally was an open world game on the Nintendo Entertainment System over 30 years ago. So, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a must-have for the Nintendo Switch and the Wii U, that is on that console as well. So it's a must-buy. That's it for me, and I shall see you next time on Nintendo Ninja News.